The Razer Huntsman. Is this the new Black Widow? Will we be seeing any more Black Widows? Only time will tell. I'm Rio Gion and welcome to the Rio Gion channel. I really love how simple this keyboard is. I gotta admit, Razer has definitely came a long way from the original Black Widow. This keyboard is minimalistic in design with almost invisible Razer logo on the top and the LED indicators on the top of the arrow keys. So far, looking at the keyboard, I can't find the snake symbol that they're very much well known for. The ISO layout is getting pretty popular, so it shouldn't be that hard to find keycaps replacement for, but of course it would be better if the layout is standard. I like the floating key design. It makes it very simple and easy to clean the keyboard. If you were to turn the lights off, there are media controls which are bound to the F keys. This could be a deal breaker to some, but personally, I rarely use the media functions on my keyboard, so I don't really notice it. In a lot of ways, I think this is the replacement for the Black Widow X because the design and the layout. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for the latest content. This keyboard uses Razer's purple optical switch. This means the key is registered when it passes a certain point and the switch will activate. There's usually some kind of laser going on. Now that the fancy jargon's out of the way, I noticed that there's a stabilizer bar on every single switch. What if you're a long-time user and you want to clean the keyboard? Should you take out all of those stabilizer bars? To be honest, let's just say they recommended that we do. I don't think there's a chance in hell I would pull out all of those stabilizer bars just to clean the keyboard. So take this section with many gallons of salt, because at heart I think they know what they're doing, so they should be in business for quite some time. It's the same thin ABS caps that you would typically find in most of the mainstream gaming keyboards. The reason for this is because to cut costs, and people would still buy the keyboards anyway, so there really is no point in fixing something that isn't broken. On the other hand, their competition Corsair has released the K70 MK2 SE with the white PBT double shot caps. Granted, you are paying more for it, but let's say, what if Razer included those PBT caps without additional charges? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Both of the flip-up feet do have rubber on them, so the keyboard will be planted at both angles. Besides this, the back is very simple with lots of rubber pads to keep the keyboard as planted as possible. Just like the Black Widow X, this keyboard does not have USB pass-through, which is a shame because I really wish they did, since this is supposedly the next generation of the keyboard. At least you get braided cable and gold-plated USB tips, which is nice. The software is one of the biggest selling point of this keyboard because it's backed up by a large manufacturer, which means you will constantly get updates, and best of all, you get custom lighting profiles to download from the community. I honestly think one of the big reasons why people often pay more money for these keyboards is the software, because RGB keyboards can only go so far if you don't have the software to control the lighting. On the other hand, if you do have the software to control the lighting, but the software isn't up to par and it's not getting updates, then you're kind of stuck with what you got. This is not the case with this keyboard because you get layering of lighting effects, constant updates, and a large community of loyal customers to post custom lighting profiles. For big name gaming keyboard manufacturers, the software is often where the money's at. This is love at first type, plain and simple. I had my doubts when I first saw the keyboard when the box says light and clicky, but when I first did a typing test, all of the doubts quickly went away. The sad news is that I'm starting to do more vlogs and just generally doing things that does not require me to type as much. So I'm really trying to come up with excuses to type on the keyboard because I want to type on this keyboard as much as I can for the time that I do have it. The reason why it's love at first type is because it truly is light and clicky. The transition is buttery smooth. I feel like I'm flying every single time I type. It's just an amazing typing experience. This keyboard is pretty good for double tapping, and it's in the lighter end of the clicky switch, so I guess you can use this keyboard to play FPS and RTS, but at the end of the day, if you want a keyboard to only play FPS and RTS games, I seriously think you're better off with a speed switch. if you plan on playing MMOs or you edit lots of videos, then I can see you using this keyboard in a pinch, but I don't see this keyboard being your daily driver because it doesn't have a dedicated bank of macro keys. So let's talk price. This keyboard retails for 150 big one and the Elite goes for a cool 200. I haven't had the chance to try out the Elite yet, but this keyboard is cheaper than the Black Widow X when it was brand new. The box claims that this keyboard can last up to 100 million keystrokes, so there's that. I do think it's worth the money because there isn't really much competition that gives you the software and the features besides the obvious Corsair K70. If only the K70 MK2 didn't have the blue switch, then I would be on board with this keyboard. But in fact, that I haven't actually tried the K70 MK2 with the RGB blue makes me hold off on making the jump. To be fair, if this keyboard were to have USB pass-through, I'm sold right then and there. But it doesn't, so if you made it this far in the video and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to become part of the mighty notification squad. As always, have an awesome day.